Hello, friends, and welcome to my Amish Neighbors channel. What we're going to talk about today is I'm going to share 5 major Amish buggy accidents that just happened in Ohio in 2021. These are not the only 5, but these are 5 that stood out for me. And what inspired me to do this is that we had an accident just on December 12th last year, and we had somewhat of an acquaintance with the people that had the accident. And it just inspired me to do a little bit of research to find out how often are these accidents happening, what is Ohio doing about it, if anything. I know a lot of people responded and say, well, you know, what's being done? So I did a little bit of research. I'm going down to the courthouse now actually to finish up, and I will answer all those questions for you. But we're going to talk about the accidents, what the Ohio Department of Transportation has done, and what the Amish are doing to also try to be safe as well. The first one I want to share was in July of 2021, and here you can see the picture. 8-year-old boy was thrown from the wagon, and thank goodness he did not die from the accident. But a 19-year-old was driving the horse and buggy, went to make a left-hand turn, and failed to yield to an oncoming truck. Of course, you've got to remember, it's not like they just hit a pedal. They're driving with a horse. So it really takes both the driver of the buggy and the vehicles to really watch out for each other. The next one I want to share with you, I do not have pictures, so I just wanted to point that out, that the pictures I'm showing on this accident are not actually to this accident, but I wanted to share it. Horse and buggies going down the road southbound. Imagine them in the right-hand lane, and here comes a semi-truck starting to pass them on the left, and at the same time they're starting to make a left-hand turn, and both of them ended up off the side of the road. Passengers in the horse and buggy were 2 adults and 2 children, and later on, about a week later, the mother ended up dying at the hospital. So not a pretty tragic accident, and we got to remember the driver, I'm sure, has to live with that as well. This next accident I'm going to show you actually happened in October 2021, and the adult male driving the buggy was ejected, and his 8-year-old daughter actually was thrown from the buggy, but she did not get as hurt as badly and was actually trying to wave people down to help them. The person that hit them, I thought this was important because the person that hit them in this accident actually hit them and ran. And I did applaud the article because it said sometimes people run because they're scared, not because they're trying to do anything wrong. But unfortunately, in this case, this person ran because they were intoxicated, and they ended up getting caught, and of course had to pay for the consequences. The other good news is in this case, the horse was treated and is still alive. Many times when you have a horse and buggy accident, the horse has to be euthanized, which is really sad. Now let's go back and look at the accident that I shared in the video. In this case, there was 6 people in the family, and I wanted to go ahead and show you another picture. But when I first listed the accident, I did not know the outcome of the injuries, but we have found out that by New Year's Eve, all 6 people in the family were able to go home. But it was really sad because in the story, all 6 people in the family went to 3 different hospitals. So the kids were split up at 2 different children's hospitals. I think they went to Dayton and Columbus, and I believe the parents ended up in Cincinnati. So we kind of live like 90 miles from each of those cities, kind of like in a triangle. And it's just really sad how the family was broken up and spent Christmas, some of them in the hospital, but they all were back together by New Year's Eve, and everybody has survived. The horse did not. The horse was euthanized. These are actual pictures for this accident as well. One last accident I will share, and I am sharing this one. I have no pictures, but it happened on December 4th, Christmas Eve. From everything that I can find, the family that was in this buggy, it was a grown man and 2 children, and a drunk driver hit them as well. And I have no follow-up. So what I would like to ask you to do is just pray for this family. I don't have a name. I just know they're from Ashland County, adult male and 2 children, and they were hit by a drunk driver. So please pray for this family as you have for the other family, and they are now safe. So prayer does work. All right, so what are we going to talk about next? One of the other things I told you I wanted to talk about is what is the Ohio Department of Transportation doing about this? I did find a report that the Ohio Department of Transportation put out, and it's called Analysis and Action Plan. As you can see here, these are some of the findings that they found. There was this report is old, but it was good to see that they are investigating and trying to make things better. I'll give you an update of what I found that was more recent, but you can read this yourself. But it is interesting that most accidents happen when there's not adverse weather conditions, because I kind of thought that might have been the number one things, but the number one reason for accidents is people are following too close. So that's an easy fix. Another thing that they reported was some of their improvement options, and I was very happy to see that they thought about, especially if they're putting in new roads, to make sure they widen them or make them wide enough so that the buggy can share the road or at least pull off over to the side. I live out here where there's lots of buggies in the country and the roads are narrow, and I've always told my husband they need to at least have 3 lanes so that the horse and buggy can stay in their lane. At least we have a passing lane in the middle, and it doesn't have to be full size, just enough so that they can pull over, because there are a lot of families. It's not just 1 or 2 horse and buggies driving around here and in other Amish communities. Something that I found that was more recent, if you go to the ODT website, and on their website they have a whole section of how to be safe driving with horse and buggy sharing the road. So it's good to see that there is a lot of thought being put into this, and safety features are trying to be imposed. Now let's talk about some of the things that the Amish are doing to be safe themselves. We've talked about the different levels of Amish rules and different orders and things like that. Most of the groups will do something, but we still have that Schwarzen-Truber group that tend to really stick to the way that they're living. I would say if any group doesn't use placards or anything, it would be them, but most of the other groups do use different safety features. You will find signs on the road to let the drivers that are in the community be aware that there are horse and buggies. The horse and buggies will use placards on the back of their vehicles. Some of them will use lights, not all of them. I have seen buggies at night that have these blinking lights that are really very easy to see. In fact, I think they're even LDT. Some of them will just have one little light. So it just depends again on the group. Sometimes you'll see people riding bicycles and they will have vests on so you can see them from a distance, so that's a good thing. They also will try to go out before it gets dark, just as a safety measure for their family. So they try to get everybody back in, pay attention to when times that the traffic isn't moving as quickly and there aren't as many vehicles. So those are some things that are being done. And again, please pray for that one family. I don't even know if I'll get an update on it. It just breaks my heart when there's any accident, and we just have to pray for them that they'll be safe. So Happy New Year. It's still January, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to put your comments below and give me a thumbs up or a like if you like the video. I appreciate it. Thanks.